Now it's time to work with the pen tool and really start to trace this artwork and get it ready for color. Now what I'm going to remind you of once again is to relax when it comes to the pen tool. We can always add points, we can always change points and edit the path when we're done. So what we're going to do is just trace some of the elements here and come back later on and clean it up. I'm also going to start to lock all of my layers and choose where I'm going to start. So let's think here, let's go ahead and start with the eye. So I'm going to unlock the eye, click on the eye layer, grab the old trusty pen tool, and last but not least, we're going to turn off the color. All we want to deal with is the stroke in the background, which is black. So I'm going to undo that. I made a mistake there and accidentally clicked on the drawing. I'm going to zoom in and we're going to start, let's think here, right about here. Another thing I want to bring up is the fact that we can always hide any extra artwork with a white rectangle. Before I start tracing, let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let's say we're tracing the eye and we go outside the bounds like this. And by the time we're done with the eye, let's say we have a color in it. Let me just go ahead and put a color in here real fast. Let's think, I'll put this blue in there. And let's say our page ends here. We don't want to see this extra bulge in the eye. Not a problem. One of the tricks I like to use is to create a new layer and put it at the very top and call it outline or border. And then on this layer, I draw a rectangle like so that covers up the artwork that I don't want to see. Then I give it a white fill and I give it no stroke. And when you deselect, it looks like nothing's there. So this is a little trick I use all the time when I want to be sloppy in my artwork and have artwork all over the place. And that's a little secret there. You can share that with the world if you so desire. I'm going to go ahead and hide that layer now. We'll come back to the outline or border layer at another time. I'm going to return to the eye layer. And you'll notice that I'm also able to scroll in my document by holding down the space bar. So here's the pen tool. I'm going to once again press D on the keyboard so I can get to my black stroke, and I'm going to get rid of that fill by clicking on this icon, which is the same icon as up here. Okay, now we're ready to start to draw. I'm going to click my mouse and I'm going to drag to put my first point. I'm also going to follow the contours of the eye. Now let go of my mouse and I'm going to click here and I'm going to drag to my left and down, or rather up a little tiny bit like so. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click and hold my mouse to change the direction while I'm holding down on my keyboard the Alt or Option key. Very important. You have to hold one of those keys down to change direction. So let me undo that and just show you. So I hold down the key, click, and when I drag out a new handle, I'm able to change direction. Now I can click here and continue drawing the shape of the eye. Once again, I'm going to be sloppy and go outside the lines. I'm going to click. I'm not holding any keys this time. I'm going to click to change that point to a straight line. I'm going to click here. And I'm going to click here. And now I'm going to click, holding down a keyboard combination once again of Alt or Option, and I'm going to drag. And now we're going to draw out that eye shape. And don't worry if it's not following exactly. We can change this at any time later on. Okay, so this is the eye. And once again, it's sloppy because we can always fix it later. And that's one of the things I love about Illustrator. Let's zoom out just a little bit. I'm holding, once again, the Alt or Option key when I have the zoom tool so I can zoom out. Let's grab the pen tool and we're going to once again start to click and drag, following the contours of the sketch. And you have to determine a point that's going to be safe for this curve to form like so. Hold down that key on the keyboard, click, and draw out that new handle following the contours. Click to draw your curve. Pull that contour out again. click and pull it out, click and drag, hold down that key, pull out that contour, click and drag, same thing, hold that key down, pull out that contour, and slowly but surely you're able to draw a very complicated shape. One of the things that people get really nervous about is trying for perfection in Illustrator. There's no reason to, because we can fix it later on with the white arrow known as the direct selection tool. So there is our eye. Yes, it's a mess right now, but don't forget, this is our friend. We're going to come back later on and tighten all of this artwork up in our cleanup section. So let's go ahead and trace some more of the artwork in the next part.